Okay, guys, you ready? Yeah. All right, here we have with us from left to right, Kentwan Smith, Corey Williams, Brian Pegg. First question is for Coach. There's been a lot made about having such a young team this year. How has it been for you coaching such a young team at this point, and what challenges, unexpected or otherwise, have there been for you so far?
Well, it's really been a breath of fresh air. The young kids have really been picking up what we're trying to instill in them. I think the other thing that's really good is that I don't have any hair already, so I don't have to lose any. But, you know, they're adjusting well. I think the thing that we have to do is make sure that we explain it to them in a way that they understand it and they can give it back to us. And so far, so good. But we certainly have a long way to go, but I'm excited about our freshman class.
And you've got two strong veterans with you here, but before we get to those guys, who are the young players that impressed you the most so far?
Well, you have Divine, Miles, strong point guard, understands the game. Angel Rivera, of course, keeps his head up, sees the floor very well. Wyatt Sikori down in the middle, able to block shots, long, lanky, can shoot it from the perimeter. And you got a guy like Grant Lazoya, who has long range. You feel like when he takes a shot, it's going to be a basket. Corey Mendez, still learning, growing, understanding what a good shot is, and trying to get him to slow down. And then we have a guy by the name of Kevin DeHero, who is from Rwanda, who is getting back in the flow, understanding he needs to be a good rebounder, get excellent position down low so we can throw him the ball, and then go up and use some explosiveness that he has and finish at the rim. So Jonathan Joseph comes in. He's long, athletic, and put his head on top of the rim. Just got to get him more acclimated to what we're doing, and he has to continue to grow as a basketball player. So those young men, all of them bring something totally different than we had last year that makes this exciting. Hopefully by January we're at full speed with those guys and understand exactly what we're trying to do.
With such a young team, a young roster, how important are the veterans like the guys on either side of you?
Well, Kentwan and Brian Pegg most definitely are the catalyst for our basketball team, along with Cal Sikora. They are going to be the guys that make sure that we're doing what we're supposed to be doing, and that the guys understand how hard we need to play. And when they're slacking off, I expect these two gentlemen to step up and say, hey, that's not how we do it here. We have a standard that we want to adhere to, and you guys are not playing to that standard. So a lot of the pressure, a lot of the weight is going to be on their shoulders, but I think they have big shoulders and they can carry that load. And certainly I expect them to step up and be vocal, and not only on the basketball court, but also outside in the classroom too as well. So these are the guys, along with Cal Sikora, who I will put a lot of that pressure on.
You talked earlier in the practice season about Kentwan Smith being more of a power forward for you this year. How is that transition going for him? And Kentwan, when coach is finished, tell us what your thoughts are about that.
Well, I just think it allows him to be a lot more versatile. You know, we had him on the perimeter a lot last year, and when we stuck him down at the 4 position, you know, we didn't run that many sets at practice for him to be in that position. But this year, I think it allows him to be able to utilize his quickness and his speed. Of course, he's athletic, and then I think he certainly has an advantage when he plays the 4 position. And then at the 3 position, allows him to be able to post up on smaller guards, take advantage of his size, and crash the glass, crash the rim, and get to the basket. But I've seen an improvement already in his basketball game from this summer. He worked extremely hard to prepare himself and get himself prepared for this season. But you can see that he is understanding what we're trying to do a lot better, what a difference a year makes. And certainly he's playing now at a high level, and we want him to continue that as we move forward in the season.
Kentwan?
I think that moving to the 4, playing both positions now allows me to be a lot more versatile and score in a bunch of different ways. And it allows me to create mismatches for the offense, and it really helps the team a lot playing.
Brian Pegg is another player that gives you some flexibility along the front line. How much does that type of flexibility mean, whether it's Brian or Kentwan?
Well, Brian certainly knows when I say play hard and be tough, he's one of those kids that bring that every day. He's worked hard, extremely hard on his jump shot. He's learning how to pick his spots to attack the rim. and that he has to play with high energy. If he does that, that's going to make us an even better basketball team. But he's worked his tail off to put himself in that position. And he certainly adds a little bit more of a dimension. He will have the luxury of playing sometime the 5 position, undersized 5, but he's tough enough that he can do that. He understands that we front the post and how tough you have to be. And so he has worked to improve his game. He's put himself in a position to help our basketball team be successful. And we're certainly looking forward to him rising to the occasion. Thus far, he's done that, and we want him to continue that as well.
Brian, tell me a little bit about your style of play.
About my style of play. I just try to outwork who I'm playing against. You know, rebound hard, dive on loose balls. You know, people have asked me what it takes to rebound. I mean, if you just crash the glass every time, some are going to bounce towards you, some are bounce away from you, but you'll get your share of rebounds. So I just figure if I try hard, generally good things will happen.
Kentwan and Brian, we know it's a young team, and you guys are 2 of the more experienced players. Kentwan, we'll start with you. How do you feel about being a leader for such a young team?
I feel like it's actually a good position for me to actually take a lot of them under my wing and try to help them with their progress. But these guys are pretty enthusiastic and pretty energetic, so they came in and they play hard. So it's not hard trying to tell them what to do and try to accomplish things with them.
Brian?
I agree with Kentwan. You know, it's you kind of feel a little nervous about having such young guys, but like Coach mentioned, Angel and Divine, you know, being the point guards, they have such an important role, and they've stepped up really well. And you know, I've enjoyed practice, and I've enjoyed being around them.
Coach, you talked earlier about your point guard tandem. It's no matter what it is, you're going to have a freshman on the floor running the point. It's pretty much the entire season. What do you expect out of them this year? And if you could compare and contrast their styles of play as point guards.
Well, the thing that you have to have, when you look at the point guard position, you have a guy that leads your basketball team and makes sure guys are where they're supposed to be. And understanding the shot clock, understanding and being aware of who needs shots, when they need to take shots, and what position they need to take those shots in. And so when you look at Divine, he's a big body, strong, very good defensively, very crafty with the ball, knows how to use his body, can absorb contact and finish at the rim. Angel is one of those savvy old veterans. He's a freshman, but he has a older mentality when it comes to being a point guard and a leader. He can make shots. He understands how to get people the ball at the right time. He has a great feel for the game. So those 2 guys are really, really strong on our basketball team, despite their youth, which I do understand. But I certainly want them to be leaders and make sure that when I give them a play, that they give that play back to me and make sure everybody's doing what they're supposed to be doing.
And this question is for everybody, and we'll start with Coach first. Pretty simple. What are your expectations for this year?
My expectation for us to play hard in every game. Make sure that we give ourselves a chance to win every basketball game. How do you do that? We looked at what we shot last year as a basketball team. We were 29% from three-point range. We want to build on that, try to get up to 35 or higher. We want to be a lot higher than 41% from the field as well. So if we do those things, that allows us to score a lot more points. And then we got to average more than 61 points a game. I think offensively we have a makeup of guys who can give us that. You got guys like B.J. Glassford, Cameron Harvey, who sat out last year, who we feel like can give us that added punch offensively. They give us some numbers too as well. And then we look for Cal Sikora on the block to be able to score some points too as well. So, you know, we have to play together as a unit. And we're going to win this thing by commission, not just one individual being the guy. Everybody have to have an important role to play on this basketball team. And if we do that, I think if we put ourselves in a position to win basketball game, who knows what can happen at the very end. And hopefully we've done the work and put in the time to give ourselves a chance to win the basketball game.
Brian, what are your expectations for this year?
I expect to be competitive and win games. I think people underestimate us because of how young we are, but I think that once the season comes around, we'll be ready to go.
Kentwan?
Try to win as much as possible, play as hard as possible, and at the end of the day, be the ASUN champs.
Guys, thanks very much. Appreciate your time.
Thank you.
Thank you.